And this guy is not around. What's that his name? He's not Hypertech. One Dogo tall guy like that.
Okay. Chalancho.
Chalancho. He did not come today. Why?
Maybe he's not doing this one.
Eh.
I am doing, not do much screen.
Oh.
Those are people that competitor.
Where is this? I can't find his earpiece. So.
Songo, yeah.
I don't know where I kept it.
Malinda.
Eh?
Songo, Bonaviv.
I don't know where I kept his earpiece.
That's why I'm singing for you.
Oh, you're singing for me?
Yeah.
He came and he was harassing me. So, I'll tell him somebody has stolen it.
Nanko, Idris.
Who be Idris?
You call it Idris now.
Okay, they've started it.
From the other side.
Yes.
So you want to join now?
No.
Yeah, same thing. But I just worried that they would have
They've stolen his earpiece. God. It's not my fault.
So do this thing. I don't like it.
I tell you, this cold season is plenty.
Hello, what's the status? Are we now waiting for the police? Who is about to come now?
Somebody has taken your earpiece.
Can you connect me?
Somebody has taken your earpiece.
Somebody has taken it.
I don't know.
That earbud is 35,000.
I'm serious. It was in my bag.
So why do you want
I wanted to bring it out and give it. I'm serious. That's why I'm letting you know. I don't know who is looking. It was in my
I will
bag.
scatter the whole of this
The
place.
bag here. And it's not here. I even thought it was his own at first. Then when you were not talking and asking me for it, it has this key holder. Yeah.
Don't worry.
Who not checked my bag?
I'll make that.
So who checked my bag?
I'll make that announcement. And you have a new phone,
It's for a company I'm working for.
Mr. DJ. Let me see.
Redmi.
You work for Redmi.
No, it's Xiaomi. That's the name of the phone.
This way is fine. What did it cost?
You know what?
150.
All these paparazzi, after 1 year, after 1 year, the phone will be outdated.
That is
The camera
very-
will change, the speed will change,
And they'll bring more.
and next year they'll bring another one that has more speed and flashy camera.
Yeah. But seriously, I don't
There is
know.
no phone like iPhone. Oh, I'm going to.
Hmm?
What is
I
that
don't
you
cheat. I
plug
don't
that
see
in
it.
to charge it?
I don't go to
If
sound.
I go to event, I don't used to plug
I
it.
see nothing different.
I know.
I don't used to plug it.
I saw it. I thought it was his own, so that's why I didn't just leave it as I unplugged it. I kept it at the back of my bag.
over to your.
And I'm serious, you can remove everything in the bag. I don't know who took it.
No, you can't take it. Don't lie to me.
It's just here, I kept
Yes,
it.
yes, sorry.
Can I plug my laptop charger here? And I'll just.
No, it's too long.
Do you have an extension?
People use leg and pull
That
it.
will go.
Info.
Yes.
People passing will use leg and drag it.
Okay, so what do you
Let me see.
Check by the word there. You can see if there is. Check by the word there. Check by the word there.
Make it check
By the word there, you see socket.
Is this pot?
Check the wall. Okay.
Even if it's working,
Have you
no.
checked the wall?
There should be a socket. But check to other end. Go forward. Go to the other side.
I can't find his airport, seriously.
Let me give you. He don't give you. Let them enter your bag.
He was using it to charge, so instead of me just leaving it as a charge, I now kept it in my bag here.
And did not drop anywhere. And that is other tiny.
I'm bothered about this thing, seriously.
Check again. If it's happen to turn the bag upside down. Or you put it on another person's bag. And my bag is
Like,
not here.
it's only this bag. See, Mba, see the way you're stressing me.
That's why you're my
See,
love.
it's not here.
But I hope you have not carried this.
Are you not my love?
It's not in this place. There's not.
That's why you're my love.
Maybe it's with him. You just don't
You've
suffer
carried
yourself.
it.
Don't suffer yourself. Maybe
You
you have
actually
carried
have
it.
laughing. You are saying that.
Don't stress me now.
Put your teeth back. I said that's why you're my. If I don't stress me, you like stress. So for my now, I want to stress. Is that what you're going to be saying to me?
Yeah, hi.
I'm high.
On cheap drugs.
Where is the drugs?
Never see him.
With me. And I'm here complaining to him that who would have taken it from my bag?
This one is
It's
fine.
more in my hand now.
Me.
I just want to rest. I want to smell nice. Thank you. God bless you. You are a darling. There's no way you know even my own. And she's giving you different ones. Are you catching me this one?
Hmm? So you're taking it from my bag, you, and you are just using me to ask questions.
No, I'm serious. Because I'm laughing. But I'll tell you something later.
It's for the it's not my own. No. How many of my things is inside here?
Naomi.
Eh,
Naomi. Naomi. This one has finished.
See it?
This chain that you changed, you actually
Pioneer
gave to
College.
me. Is it because I'm laughing?
It's for this school. It's for a college. It's not that I bought it though.
Naomi. Is it because I'm laughing? That airport is 45,000. I know I will pay for you.
How?
I tell you say my airport
I
there.
did not see at your own risk you plug it.
Naomi, don't worry. There is a lot of things we do and sacrifice for you.
No be me you do that sacrifice for. So they say there are a lot of things you do for side. No be me.
It's a takeaway.
Who did I do?
No, it's my
Who did I do the
on the
sacrifice? Who
internet.
did I do the
Yes.
sacrifice?
Yourself.
How much did you got it?
20 last year, October.
Which network?
Airtel.
It's only Airtel that is said. You can put any other
Only Airtel.
only Airtel.
MTN is 7. MTN is
Please give
5G.
me your perfume plug.
Leave me.
Give me your perfume plug.
It's from this and I need to get it from Oshun.
Oshu. Person can ship it.
Oshun.
Yes, now that I used to do our way
That's why I say, okay, I should patronize you. I should buy from you. How much is it?
This one. 4.
Okay. But it's actually small. So they want to do like a bigger meal. Just confirm the price for this.
Bigger meal.
Just up 20k.
I like the
Just 20k, have a bigger one.
20k.
Yeah, so what I did was that I got the
just multiply
smaller
it to
ones,
4.
but 10.
10. 10
Yes.
of these.
Different fragrance, yes, and 10.
Is that why you always smell nice?
Yes, it's expensive, but yes. And for for different occasions.
Okay, it's not for one occasion. Please, you need to teach me how to do these things so that one time comes.
Give me God, I beg.
God.
Bye.
Baka. Baka.
I don't know that you cannot worry now.
Don't give prophecy now.
Somebody.
Tell me.
But seriously,
Hello.
let me check.
I think you should start playing music.
Okay, we should play music. Oh, okay, no problem. That's no hard.
What is it? Please, who have passwords for this internet in this conference? I don't understand.
They did not give us some.
You know this.
Buy your with it. Yes or no?
So I cannot certify 35,000 naira for you.
No, because even with the way you were asking me for it, I knew it was important. I was just laughing that
No, everything is important, so I cannot
Say
certify it for you.
120. This
Even if I
one
can't
is
find
good.
it. But they say 120.
120.
120.
125 is good. Oh, that they cancel that one.
Oh, I need internet now. There's something I need to do.
where is your? I know you are with it.
My MTN. Are you still worried?
You think I'm joking?
Are you still worried?
I'm serious.
Okay, so what made you think? I think you are with it when you told me it's on the table?
I don't know because I don't know who must have taken it from my bag right now.
Did you put it in your bag? Are you
Yes,
serious?
I'm very serious.
After that, you sound stressing. I don't worry. I know what I'm doing.
Is my audio muted?
Yes.
They play something we don't
This is what
understand.
it's called.
You are playing what you don't understand before.
The song finished playing. You started hearing preaching and worship song.
Are you serious?
Yes, sir.
Why they sleep now?
Yeah.
See, I'm back.
Yeah, that
Pause
song
it.
now.
It's playing another thing.
And that's no different food that they play.
Yes, that's why I say you should pause it.
It's called
Hey,
Jam.
God.
Check this one. See the first one to see the open.
This one is muted.
Check that one.
This one is not.
No, this one call. This one call. What are the first one?
It's not it. This one too is muted.
So this one.
Hey, I don't even know which of the.
Do you open another Chrome again? You don't have Chrome in your system, myself.
I don't want to close this tab.
I don't know. It's okay. For your hand also. Because some reason you use time lapse now. Let me that back.
I've seen it.
That's how they play.
I tell you, I don't even know from where.
Who is PP? You're saying, see your own
My shoe.
different shoe that you use.
Do you know how long it took me to get this shoe? You own every time we see you, they wear new shoe. Every time we see you having new shoe. This one now, if you see me next time, I'm still wearing this same shoe.
You that you have plenty at home. Just go and change. But that is our presentation. That is Khadija's.
Please, you can unmute it now. And you collected my shoe size though. He said, don't
Today is 42
worry.
now.
Eh?
Today is 42 now.
40. I should not worry.
Mine is 42 now. I thought it's the same size we are wearing.
I should not worry. You will get. And it was when we traveled to Enugu that time. Oh. You can remember. 2 good
I
years.
saw one that I wanted to buy it now. I said, I can't reach you, so I leave.
You collected my number. Bring
Well,
your phone.
I changed the phone now.
Jesus Christ.
And this phone used to hide numbers. Let me check if there is now here.
Just call my number. Don't need to text 080 because I think I should have your own Noah
08036.
87. God, no, you have no excuse. Oh my God. I forgive you.
Amen. Thank you. Which program is that?
It's someone that said I should help design it too.
Why are you skipping?
Skipping. Now I want to.
Wait, you grab this one, bro. After I leave this place, go out. Now the one they carry, they go out. I won't chop anyhow. Go out.
Won't you just show it and it will show to them? For the virtual participants.
Nothing is flashing.
Why are you even sending it to me?
Fun are here, still hold a bit.
Hmm?
Yes, no. I am not seeing your flash. Don't forget to that this. You can start now, but you don't remember us. Sorry. Check more, see if you don't come, don't show. Check.
You show here.
But check first. Don't show me.
On the fly,
Let me just copy it.
Because we. No, I don't capacity. This laptop with the put. I don't take it. I don't get my laptop.
Yes, just one slide. Just one, right? Yes. And inject it.
I was about to say if it hasn't been shared, it's also
Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Please let me know if you can hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, say hi. Thank you very much. All right. So we'll be starting the fireside chat. It's my pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. My name is Chiboy Zeruzi. I represent Solina Center for International Development and Research, and I'll be your facilitator for today's session. But before we get into things, I wanted to ask everyone a question. So just, if this question resonates with you, just raise your hand. Has anybody ever asked you, when are you going to get married? Has anybody ever asked? Just wait. An auntie, uncle. Personally, I know I've told somebody in this room that time. So I'm good. Okay, what about, boys are not meant to be in
Check
the
this out.
Have you heard that before?
What?
You see me, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, what about don't cry? You're a man. Be strong. I've heard this one a lot recently. So I think these are kind of like a few examples, right, of how norms really shape and influence lifelong decision career. So now let's imagine. Imagine as a mother, you can't take your child to the university without permission from your husband. What do you think that would do to the child?
Any password, yes.
Or perhaps you're someone with HIV, and then family members are saying, avoid this person. I think that today's discussion is really about how deeply rooted social and gender norms influence who gets access to healthcare, the quality of care that they receive, and how equitable health programs deliver the promises that we make. So we'll try to unpack the barriers that these norms create while spotlighting gender mainstream as a proven equity approach that bridges the service gap but also fosters inclusion and sustainability. Before I get into things, I'd just like to highlight just a few things that we at Solina Center for International Research and Development, how important this topic is to us. At CIDA, we recognize that gender parity remains one of the biggest barriers to equitable health and development outcomes. That is why we launched the Sustaining Action for Gender Equality SAGE program, which is an initiative that helps us to embed gender expertise, tools, and strategies across both our internal systems as well as our program interventions, with a special focus on improving outcomes
No, they say they want it like this. So that's what
Whose
she
mission
said.
is to strengthen research and practice on social norms. And we do this by building a network of practitioners, researchers, evaluators, and advocates who share knowledge, generate evidence, as well as develop resources to support any informed social and behavioral change program. So in our own little in the work that we do, in how we do business, both internally and from the programmatic lens, shaping gender norms is something that we are very passionate about. And hopefully through today's conversation, we can do a deep dive in how we can improve outcomes for health programs. So we have a poll that we're going to project on the screen now. Now the purpose of this poll is kind of gather our expectations for today's session so that we can infuse your thoughts, your concerns
How are we going to do the
into
poll?
the conversation. So I'll
The
just
poll.
call on the tech team now to project the poll.
You know
And please, one thing, kindly take out your
what I'm
phone,
saying? This
scan the
image.
barcode,
Project the back.
and then tell us what you're
The
thinking.
backdrop.
Tech team,
Something you want.
can we have the poll, please?
That code. That's something.
Yeah, cool.
That's what I'm saying.
No, take it back, take it.
So once you see the barcode, please put out your phone,
Okay.
scan the barcode,
Yes, yes, yes.
I have it.
and let us know what you think. What are your expectations for today's session? What do you want to discuss? What do you want to hear
Is that
about?
right?
We're trying to make sure that as much as possible,
Is it too
we
big?
carry the audience along.
I should reduce it because of the chair.
So please
What do you
scan the
think?
barcode and let's hear from you.
I think it's okay, right? Can you scan it?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe,
Technically, is there a way we can also project the outcome so that we can also do that at the same time? We can see how people are
They did not tell me that one.
voting. Is that possible?
the code is there, the result is there. Just switch it.
Okay, so we'll just use your HDMI. Oh, yeah, no problem.
Should we wait here?
They will do that.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, we'll use his system. And we'll use his
They should
system.
project it now.
Now? Nothing yet.
So
Nothing
remove
is
this
there.
one. No, it's on live.
Completion now, right?
But they've not answered anything.
No answer yet. Pop up, right? Go.
Where is his HDMI code? Where is his? Okay, here.
Our own network is not very strong, so.
It's not strong.
Just listen to him so you know what he's about.
How are we doing on the poll? Are we guys started? Network. So sorry about that. I suspected that would be an issue. Let's see. Let's be fine. Let's be fine.
It's showing the back end.
So for those of us who are just joining the room, so we're trying to ensure that the conversation today is grounded in expectations of the audience. So please put out your phones, scan the barcode, and tell us what you would like to hear from today's speakers. Okay, since there's some technical issue with the poll, please, by show of hand, if you've been able to respond to the poll, can we see your hand? If you've been able to respond to the poll, can we see your hand up? So that means it's not working again. Or the network. But has it opened? if you can see it's open, you can see the question, but you just can't respond. Okay, that's fine. Has anybody been able to finish? Any other person?
Give
Yeah,
anyone
I know
who has
it's
the
open,
link
but
to
anybody
be able
respond.
to, anyone who has the link
Nobody.
request, so give them access to it. Have you done it? And maybe he can bring it up at the end of the session.
Anyone? Okay. I think we might have to proceed. So I won't do the conversation any longer. So it's my great privilege to introduce to you the moderator of today's panel session, my colleague,
Move the code.
who will
Go back to
Yes.
kind of provide the backdrop from the lens of how CEDA is approaching this topic, through the work that we do, and also how we operate as an organization.
It's on
So
your phone now. Maybe
welcome Dr. Rihanna Ibrahim, Principal at CEDA. Dr. Rihanna is a development professional with over a decade of experience strengthening health and social systems across Africa. Please put your hands together for her. Thank you.
Thank you very much. She's really very much. Right. And because it's easier. Skip the other jokes. And I do women things, women leadership, and trying to.
How far the banner?
That's what I want to show.
And today I just wanted to
I had to remove that one.
learned on not just living gender in both work, but actually being about it in every way, both from an organization's lens, as well as from programs and how we execute and outcomes that we're trying to achieve. Like you said, I'm sure we all experience norms in one way or the other. I'm not saying norms. Norms is more are those unspoken rules.
You've been able to figure out.
Essentially
Oh, I should help you with it when the network comes up.
The issue is on page 2, please.
Different from behavior, which is more personal, it's more active. This is what I do by virtue of what my community expects from me. So we're talking about one unit marriage, right? So if you do not get married by the sex reason, as a man, there's certain sanctions that might come in some communities to not become married, right? Or a woman goes out without permission in certain environments. That's a norm with a consequence, and the consequence is something that is mentioned or something that is withdrawn.
I should show the presentation.
Yes.
They didn't tell me to show it.
Oftentimes those norms exist within cultures, often shaped by religion, shaped by the times as well, and we are seeing a lot of changes in those as well. But at the core of it, regardless of where you go, see the gender sits in the middle of it, and those things can.
Is this her presentation?
Whether you're health, whether you're
Right. I think it's the third slide.
whether you're a family, whether you're
Okay.
and basically, as a people, as a human collective, how we do this forward, if we remove these barriers or not. And just moving to the first thing around who we are, and why this is important, so we're going back to norms a little bit. Can we move it? Who we are, just so we can round up these things. And it just bringing back to norms. There is all of the work that we do. I don't know, how many people in this room do health related support? Health sector. education, creates economic empowerment. So those the pillars of development are what we call the human capital development. People are well, they have money and they are able to be able to achieve their maximum impact. And those are indicators of how well the society, the community, the country, or the world is doing, right? But because of these norms, we see them showing up in our work, right? We see that girls are not enrolled in school or
Okay. So it's working. I think it was just your network. Because this is the response. Okay. So it was the network. So he can just still tell them that he could still be responding. Then at the end of it, we'll just do the poll. Yeah.
But at the same time, work often focuses on health, right? Trying to say how can we get the health of less pain and control, how can we make sure that our systems are functional, how can we make sure that communities are healthy. But oftentimes programs do not think about those norms, understand them, and also use them to inform how they are designed, but focusing again on removing those barriers, not just dancing around them, like doing exercise with them, right? So, as we've executed projects, over 60 of them over the last 10 years, we realized that gender had to be a big piece of the work that we do, otherwise we were not going to get to the performance or to the achievements we wanted as fast as we could, right? This is just that. Now, on the next slide, the gender work that we do, the way that we speak about gender, and it would be useful to understand how when we speak about gender in the American world, our first 3 pillars. And this is from learning businesses and seeing that gender is important to everything across programs. But we also realize that we cannot say we are doing gender in a program if, as an institution, we are not about it. So, as an institution, we really care about gender. And part of our efforts revolve around strategic plan. So, we have a 5-year organizational plan, and there are pillars specifically in there that focus on advancing gender. This is an institution. So, we want equal female representation of more female at the board level. We want more women in leadership, right? So more female managers, more female directors. We want equitable policies and benefits, right? So we want maternal leave that is actually useful for the women. We want a structure that allows her to show the momentum that comes back to integrate. Even if the project is no longer fit for her, we're able to support the particular that she needs by working on this contract. Talking about childcare support, we have a crash office that supports it. So I knew as an organization structured to support the advancement of women's careers and women discrimination and not constitute the barrier yourself as an organization. And for all of us doing development work, you will understand that beyond just writing it on paper is what are the policies that we have that make the environment inclusive for staff. And then there's of course workforce, right? We have parity in the workforce. So we're hiring, how are we hiring and is it fair? Is it equitable? Are we thinking about the balance in how we're staffing our teams so that it's not an all-nighting, it's not an all-nighting, right? And of course, in programs, how have we designed our program implementation framework that ensures that gender is embedded across board and are those enshrined? So if I have a new project today, how am I making sure that that project is responsive for me right from the beginning of the program? So these are systems that we're putting in place with programs initially. And the second side is transformative programs, right? So programs we can design that will say, okay, I'm trying to get kids vaccinated, and the mother cannot come because there's some social programs that are coming. Many of them are gender related, so she needs permission.
I will strip
there are
you.
issues with
I will strip you.
there are issues with the mother-in-law
To shock him.
there's issues with how many talk about some of the achievements that we have from our institutional efforts to mainstream gender and make sure that we show that we care and we demonstrate it in our policies. Can we move to the next slide, please?
I'm coming.
So
Yes.
with SAGE, or our institutional effort for gender transformation, is called Sustaining Action for Gender Equality. Sustaining Action for Gender Equality, and here, like I said, a number of different things that we're doing. So we've been able to now achieve a board parity, or parity in board membership, where we now have an equal number of men
Not
and
seeing my
women on the
screen.
board. We came from a place
I'm
where we
good.
only had about 3%.
Yes, I just need to.
About 1 out of 7 people on the board being women, now having
No audio. I'm
3
coming.
out of 6, and we're pushing to still have 4 out of 7 ultimately, so we have more women for representation. Can we move to the page for SAGE, please? And then there's
Which page?
also progress in terms of women in managerial areas by supporting women's action movement. So we realize that women's careers move along, but then when they get to the level, there's typically a plateauing or a drop off. So most times, because it's a young organization,
It's not coming up.
they join the growing and need to be able to by the time they go into this career.
It's not just coming up. I'm coming.
You just need to be a little bit fast. Cannot spend as many hours at work, applications, and oftentimes some of it is external, those pressures. Can we just put another laptop?
You can't just use another laptop like that.
At home, but also at work.
I'm coming. The thing just went. Just froze. So I had to shut it down and open it again.
Is it possible to use this?
Negotiated. Of course, they can take like some additional time that is paid for them to spend more time with the kids. When they have to travel for work, with child support for the children. These are things that are possible, right? But oftentimes are not put in place as possible.
I will not be able to work on it now because I'm presenting here.
And what are the gaps and how do we plug that? So now we're reviewed all our policies and embedded gender in there. So whether it's procurement reviewing or recruitment or program execution, but a clear way that gender shows up in this construct and the design. There's also, of course, the women's mentorship program.
Let me check from my end first of all.
Women leaders, we want women to aspire to more, we want them to have the tools to be managers.
So I want to add
So women's mentorship program
This slide. No. You have to send it to me again and that will take another time.
And of course, across programs,
It's just for the end.
realizing
At
that
the end of the presentation,
good
so
job
that
when
we
they wake up
can scan it.
is high.
Answer any questions we have.
Is this your program?
Just send it as a different image.
Is it by WhatsApp or
Not just capacity building for people who need health workers and you put them in the room and they're
can I share through
It's
WhatsApp?
not just that you training women,
Yeah, through WhatsApp
but
is okay.
if a woman there who has a child, there is space for her to keep her child while the training is hard. Is there good toilets for
080 36 87 25 31. Yes.
What's the name?
Naomi.
Thank you very much.
In that place that thinks about the peculiarities of gender and how it works. Again, this is not, oh, my husband didn't allow me. These are the people implementing the program. My team are the people doing the work. They need to feel like it's possible. They need to be supported to succeed for them to then carry on to do the work that is necessary. Part of it is also a gender playbook or toolkit of sorts that allows our managers to figure out where they can put gender in. So again, not of this project will have a gender advisor.
Like I was hearing your
To the
voice,
extent
so I think
possible,
it's just
someone there,
right.
but who can be that focal person that is supporting
Hearing
that
your voice,
activity.
so it's
And then the next one is on Scrum, which is more an intentional project. Can we move to the next one?
I'm using my system to present right now, so I can't go to the OBS system to work. That's what I explained to her.
To empower others. So the peer support model of volunteers within communities, they are trying to use that voice to empower the women.
And my screen is extended. Microsoft, my screen is extended, so that's what is showing there. Yes.
One of the biggest testimonies is
Mm-hmm.
50,000 kids in this intervention and 20,000 kids and 50,000 pregnant women that we continue to refer and meet the services. And that's fantastic. What is even more fantastic is that these women are saying, oh wow, the first time a traditional leader called me and was asking me what is my opinion. Like, I've been doing volunteer work for years, but nobody has ever actually asked me to contribute, to have a voice here. And that's shifting how the communities are thinking about women and the place that they have and whether they can consent or not. So this is an immunization and maternal health project, but one that builds in agency and women's voices into how we're trying to manage the community. So that way we're able to advance not just the health outcomes, but also the gender outcomes as well. And then the next one is our Learning Collaborative Project, which is basically a community of active people in gender work, social council work, behavior change work.
Okay.
Across all sectors, we try to share learning, conferences, have meetings, and just share a lot of resources because the gender work can be very weighty. I tell you that because oftentimes like these people have found the making noise again. What exactly does it mean? How is this going to change an outcome? And I would say one of our donors, the biggest thing that they're solving is, okay, how do we explain to our principal or our founder that she should invest in gender because if it does, it will help improve maternal health coverage, immunization coverage. A lot of people cannot connect the dots. And so it's important that you as an advocate are able to help them connect the dots. And that learning, that community, that sharing what everybody is doing, especially for something that there isn't a lot of evidence. For our context, for Nigeria specifically, it's important that we're learning and sharing and documenting as much as possible. Now, so what have we learned? We've learned that it's possible, right? We can transform organizations, we can transform programs, we can deliver it, but it's going to take. Can we move to the next question? Thank you. But because gender shows up in everything you do, you must do it, right? It's going to help you move things forward. But if you're going to do it, you can't just do it. For you to accrue the full benefits, you need to do it at an institutional level, so as the organization responsible, and the people within the organization sensitized, aware, we did a gender-wide training. What I took was like, things are fantastic training.
Immediately.
It was great.
At the end of the slide.
The perspective that
I have to go out of the slide then, download the image, then present it.
we all knew that gender shows up in our work. We're all doing this work together. So how are you telling me that you want one
Yes.
boy first because the idea is doing this? Like this is someone who I'm talking about people who are super intelligent. These are the people who should be moving us towards progress, right? And we still have these ingrained norms that we have to unlearn. So I think being able to think about it, not just from, am I just changing my program? The people implementing the program, they believe that they convince, and the institution doesn't have an open environment to allow them to do that. Of course, the leadership has to buy in, and there needs to be empathy. How do you convince leadership to agree to do something? I think for us it was very easy because we had leadership that were the ones actually driving the agenda and interested. And I think we'll hear more and we'll have a panel to discuss, what do we hear from leaders when it comes to gender. And then of course we need community and we need more knowledge sharing. Like I said, it's very lonely and very hard. Gender developers like Khadija would know that oftentimes you are the one like pushing and advocating, and it's not always the loudest room. Or you have to be agenda. So, for instance, we were talking about intersectionality the other time at a global community of practice. I know we were talking about sexuality, we were talking about race and things like that. And we're thinking, how does intersectionality actually happen for us? Or how does it show up for us in Nigeria? Within the ambit of Nigerian law, is sexuality something we should be talking about? Or should we focus more on disability, poverty, and cultural divide, religion, as the other things that can constitute barriers beyond gender? So I think just being able to contextualize the information for our local context.
That's to this section.
Is also
YouTube, there's a YouTube link.
Okay.
Short form PIC, then there's different breakout section. Right.
Please continue to put your hands together for
I'm coming.
Thank you so much for something that you said that really caught my attention was
So can we show that mentality code again for
you
them?
can't say that
Which one? He sent me one just now. So is it the previous one?
Stephen.
From him.
you have to walk tall. I think that that's something that we really don't see as we do. Just like she's highlighted all the other initiatives and the outcomes of those initiatives that we have to ensure that as much as we're trying to infuse gender mentioning programs, we also need
It will not go like that.
Don't worry about it.
So just want to remind everyone, once again, we're going to put up the barcode so that you can scan. I think it's working now. So tech team, can we have the barcode one more time? So that we can get your feedback and opinions about things that you'd like to hear in the conversation so we can ensure that they're highlighted. Alright, everyone please
I should make it smaller or it's okay?
Please.
It's okay, smaller.
Thank you.
Okay.
And let me know if the link is working this time. We don't want to spend too much time on this. Is it working? Is the link working? If you've been successful at least in opening the link, I'm just wait so you see okay good. Okay now try and fill the form.
The sound coming from your stuff.
Still the same
Okay,
thing?
sir.
Online.
Let me
Okay,
check
I
it.
think that's all right.
Conversations.
So before I invite the other speakers to the stage, I'd like to introduce them. So we have two guest speakers joining us on stage today. The very first one is Dorothy Njemanze. She's the founder and ED of Dorothy Njemanze Foundation. Thank you. Dorothy is a media and development strategist, gender and democracy advocate, and women's rights defender with over 20 years experience
So, you know, as a woman, I'm also a bit like, it's a given. But let me give you the McKinsey kind of response. Look, I think we find that diversity of all sorts is important in the workplace, and even in the way we set up our teams at McKinsey for work is based on diversity, not only in terms of gender, but in terms of background, et cetera, et cetera. So I think there's just a fundamental recognition that diversity of thought tends to lead to better answers. And I'll give you maybe a practical example of that. I was in Kano, for instance, last week on behalf of a client that I'm serving that is predominantly male, and they're designing a program for transitions for out-of-school girls. And the hypothesis had always been that, you know, when the girls move on from education, they should go into like petty trade. So we go with the mothers. And frankly, they kind of look at us a little bit like we're nuts. And they're like, no. Like, we don't want our daughters doing what we're doing. We want our daughters to go to secondary school and university. So, yeah, shea butter and ginger are great. But, like, tell me how this program gets my daughter to University of Kano, right? And it's one of those things where even I was sitting, I was thinking, yeah, like, honestly, like, as a mom, I also want more for my kids than what is in front of me. So I think that a woman from a lower socioeconomic background would not want the same. You know what I mean? So I think there's real life of having the diversity of thought at the table. And if we didn't have, in this case, the woman at the table when we were designing, we would have just missed the mark. Now, what are we seeing in Nigeria? Because I think that was the second part of your question. In Nigeria, it's actually very interesting in that we don't have a lot of women that enter the workforce. So our last report showed that about, if you take entry level, 30% are women, which is in countries like Kenya and India, that number is much larger. But if you follow those women all the way to the end, so like your CEO, president, VP positions, it stays relatively constant, actually. Whereas in other countries, it drops off quite dramatically. Now, there is some variation in that data in the sense that what we see is that women do drop off in the middle in Nigeria, but once they stay, they actually end up getting promoted at a faster rate than men. So that kind of creates that stability. So what that means in Nigeria from a corporate point of view is that we actually need to do a better job at getting more women in. So some countries, they have to do a better job at retaining. We actually have to do a better job at getting more women in. We have to do a slightly better job at preventing some of the drop-off in the middle. But really, if we get more women into the workforce, then we'll start to see some real gains.
Thank you very much, Tola. I think key there is they should be, because they're human beings, right? And it's important for us to understand or have diverse teams and make entry or make access equitable from the jump, and not only for the top, right? And that leads me to my question to you, Dorothy. So you do a lot of work with communities and survivors, right? So you're coming from that more grassroots. We're talking institutions and leadership and agendas, and now you're going to tell us more about the grassroots. We know that norms shape a lot of the would I say outcomes that the survivors that you work with ultimately get. Question is, how do you think this kind of institutional reforms ultimately make it better or make it worse for survivors of GBV? Where do you see institutional leadership as a barrier showing up with examples? And how do you think we can what is the change that needs to happen institutionally, in leadership, in women's participation in the workforce, in women's participation in the economy, that can mitigate the kinds of risks that you see with your survivors?
All right, thank you. With my survivors, I am a survivor of sexual and gender-based violence. So I know firsthand what it means to desire support after exposure to trauma. I know what it means to get the desired support, and I also know what it means to sustain desired support. And so for the rest of my life, I would be helping to reform systems to be survivor sensitive. In thinking about the workplace, it's important to remember that so many people, for so many people, the workplace is our homes, because we have domestic staff at home. We have the gate people, the nannies, and all of that. And so in thinking about the reforms that we're looking forward to, where in the white collar places, it's important to recognize that, for instance, for women who operate businesses from their homes and they serve men, a lot of the men who they serve tend to want to have sex with them because there's the knowledge of the fact that there's a bed nearby. That's a reality that we've seen. And then these days, when we're thinking about technology-facilitated crimes, we're missing from the radar people who just install CCTV systems in their homes, and they put CCTV in the bathrooms where the house help takes her bath. So, you know, I don't know how many of us who are not willing participants on the Big Brother show would want to have ourselves captured every time we need to take a bath, simply because we need to have, you know, earn some money. And then who do these people run to? The access to justice system is designed for the rich, the very rich, and the very, very, very rich. The cost of access to justice is increasingly, it rises by the second. And so it means that even with the institutionalized trauma that you're exposed to, you're expected to endure. You're expected to be the perfect woman. You're expected to be seen and not to be heard. When you earn money, you need to prove that you're loyal to your man by submitting the money to him. Or if you must put your bank account that bears your name, ensure the phone number that receives alerts is his own, you know? And then if you go a bit further, during the COVID lockdown, the pregnant girls we worked with complained bitterly about antenatal care services, in which they said they were made to eulogize the people that got them pregnant. Now, antenatal services are meant to endear people to their partners. And so when they tell you to stand up and before you sit down, you mention the endearing name you call your partner. And people say, darling, honey, this. When it gets to that child who is pregnant because she was raped, what is she supposed to answer in that moment? And so they were thankful that there were face masks. And they said, well, they just say anything. But there were songs that I thought, my husband do good, oh, he don't make my life better, I go to love him forever, oh, he be my baba. That child who has had to drop out of school, or the woman who is not a willing participant in pregnancy, how does that system serve her? And we've also had situations where, because of religious beliefs, where people, if they permit their wives to have IUDs and the rest of them, contraceptives, then it means they are trying to block the blessings of God from coming to the family. And we've had people who are beaten up because they say, okay, now the way they keep your body, now you make your pregnancy to they enter. And so when the pregnancy enters, they beat the woman up. Now, thinking about it, with normative practices, everything wrong that we don't speak up against continues to happen. And so it features in different ways. And for what it's worth, we need to get to the point of ensuring that people are able to speak up about their own realities, because the diversity in realities is wide. We speak very often about female genital mutilation. But not enough conversation is happening about intersex genital mutilation. Some children present as not specifically male or female, and then people, it be like say it look more like boy or it look more like girl. But by the time the person hits puberty, the gender you selected at that point may be different from the one the person is manifesting. Because currently we have a 14-year-old whose mother signed was little, permitting them to have the person as a female. But now this male has serious stomach issues and is menstruating and has been sealed. So who is going to bear the cost of the medical situations? Again, we cannot keep thinking for people. We need to have non-judgmental systems that are able to receive people's situations, treat them for what they are, and we need to have gender-responsive budgeting in action. It is not negotiable. Failure to do that is irresponsibility and keeps costing lives by the second. If you leave me, I'll go on and on.
All right, thank you so much, Dorothy. Sorry, please, Rai had an emergency, so I have to come up here. There's a barcode that has been shared across. I don't know if we have the people on this side able to get the barcode. Okay, so the barcode is meant to be for questions and answers, and then we're moving to the interactive polls. So it's time for Q&A, please. If you have any question for the speakers, you can just raise your hand. We're going to take 1 or 2 questions from the audience. Okay. So do we have mic? Okay. So please let us know who you're directing your question to. And then the QR code is also going round so that we can document more questions that we have. Okay.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Progress. I'm a communications and gender equity consultant. My question is to the panel, to the first speaker who's not here. So she spoke about creating spaces for nursing mothers, especially women with children, for example. She mentioned creating crutches and spaces for mothers to nurture their toddlers. So my question is, what's done when it comes to ensuring that men or husbands are participants in that space as well? For example, there is paternity leaves as well as maternity leaves, which ensures that men are able to support their nursing wives to cater for their children. Now, when it comes to the workplace, the way we create spaces for nursing mothers, do we do that for men as well? For men to be able to bring their kids to work so that their wife can have a break. And for example, what in terms of like our outlook when it comes to seeing, how do we react when we see men traveling with their kids? We always like, oh, where's your wife? You know, you always want to interrogate the man as if they do not have the right to be with their kids. So I think there has to be like a mindset shift, because if we keep putting it on the women, we should create spaces for women to have their kids and the rest of it. We would leave out the men, which will in turn trickle down to burnout for women. Because we are talking about gender equity, we're talking about having a balance. So men should be able to have an active participation in raising kids, in just creating safe spaces for women as well. So I'm just going to stop.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So up to you.
No, I think that's a question. So let me maybe share 2 perspectives, both in terms of how I think we need to change the narrative a little bit for women, and then also where the men come in. And I'm speaking as someone who has 2 young children myself. Look, I think all these flexible working spaces, so whether it's crèche in the workplace and all of that, I think are very important. However, I think that we, as institutions, we need to go the extra mile to really be able to articulate and ensure that that flexibility doesn't come with a penalty, right? Because it's often unspoken, where it's like, okay, yeah, you know, you can, you know, where company, we've given the woman 6 months maternity, we've given them 9 months maternity, but you're away for 6 and 9 months, something is going to suffer. There's an unspoken penalty. Or, you know, we allow flexible work, you know, if you have childcare responsibilities, you don't have to come into work every day. Great, but there's an unspoken penalty. So when that is done, when we create these flexible environments, we have to do the work of coaching, for instance, managers. You have to coach managers. How do you work with people that are on flexible time? Because just because I work 3 days a week and my male counterpart works 3 days a week, like you have to hold, like, what you have to ensure that I am not going to be penalized for that, in the sense that you are judging me still based on my merit, right? In that 3 days, what I was supposed to do, did I get it done? Also, you're not giving me work that's sort of like, you know, anyone could do. Like, you're giving me real challenging work for my role, for my tenure, for my expertise, and you're holding me accountable. And I think that's often the other side of these flexible arrangements that doesn't get discussed. So I think that's important. The second piece around men, I agree that, you know, just as a woman who I happen to think I have a fantastic husband that shares the load, I do think that, you know, men are involved and should be more involved in parenting. But frankly, I think that's a decision between every man and his wife. Like, it's tough to influence that in the workplace. Now, that said, though, I do know a number of men who, in the corporate world, who do want to make decisions about how they work based on the fact that they have kids, and they don't actually feel comfortable saying that in the workplace. I know someone who said, you know, I don't really want to stay at this job because I don't think that I can sustain these hours as a father. And I remember I said to him, I said, women say that loud and proud all the time. Like, as a man, maybe say that more loud and proud to your male and female colleagues, and maybe we'll start to shift the narrative. So I think there's something around men also, men who are already willing to take on a bit of that role, feeling more comfortable and more vocal, articulating that in spaces, and then I think stuff will start to change. And then last but not least, I'm a firm believer that actually paternity leave should be enforced, and it should be mandatory, because 2 people have had the baby. And so, you know, again, back to this unspoken and spoken penalties, there's some companies that give men a day paternity leave. That makes no sense. So I think that there should be mandatory paternity leave as well, to even make men feel more comfortable about the role that they're playing.
Right, a very quick perspective. While I support paternity leave, we've also had situations where women reported that their paternity leaves were opportunities for the men to take vacations or to go and spend time with the sidees. Good. And so you have these women who are still stuck with their maternity leave running out, especially the ones who needed to go on maternity leave early because the late stage of the pregnancy was very hard on them. And so they're still struggling with their situations, and there's no man. The question is, if you give the maternity leaves, do the women know that the husbands have maternity leaves? And then if they know, they can now use it as evidence against him when reporting cases about, abandonment of dependents. If he's supposed to use his maternity leave, paternity leave for paternity purposes, then we can better hold him to account when we know what you have given to him and how he has misused it. Then if he's committing economic fraud, that's an opportunity, utilizing the VAP, to bring him to action, or to hold him accountable for his actions. So there's need for a lot more awareness. So while there's a lot of considerations in the high-end organizations, the entrepreneurial businesses will be struggling for, okay, if I let this person go, who will fill the gap in that time? How do we make things balanced? Luckily, technology has helped us to find middle grounds But even with that, we need more evidence so that we would hold more people accountable, and that is how bad behavior, will turn into economic benefits for us.
I really agree with both perspectives. Actually, I think color it with like what we've experienced, right? And I know one of the questions was around, well, how about the men? And every time I have a gender discussion, we always have to answer that question, right? What about the boys? What about the men? And I think we have paternity, right? In CEDAR, for example, it's a 2-week paternity leave. But I don't know that uptake of that leave is high. I don't know that a lot of men opt in for it. And I say that because one of the anecdotes that I have is the driver in one of our states, it's in Bauchi, and he lives in a neighboring state. So he goes home on, like his wife just gave, but he didn't take paternity leave. He just like went for a weekend. And he came back and he said, oh my God, the baby was just crying. This was there. Oh my God, I didn't have any sleep. I didn't have any rest. It was better for me to just stay here. So there's also like, are men willing and ready to take those advantage of those support systems that are there? We have a creche. We have maybe 1 or 2 fathers that bring their daughters there, right? Maybe because the woman has other obligations. But we have fathers that bring men. Majority of the people in the creche, and I can imagine from my team that are here that use the creche, is men and is women, right? The men are their kids there. They're not using these systems that we put in place. Always comes up on Men's Day as well. Women's Day, Men's Day. We're celebrating the men. Are the men
parenting enough?
No, are we leaning into saying, okay, I want this support as well, or I need these systems as well, or I will opt in if I do a men's mentorship program, right? So I think it's important that intrinsic, that leaning into the support that exists for men. But I think there's then also like, as an organization, what do you do for men to make sure the women don't then burn out, or you don't end up tipping the scales in the opposite direction of where you're coming from? And I would say there are the things that I highlighted are special add-ons to our broader workforce support mechanisms that are targeted specifically at women and the gaps that women have. But we do have things that apply to men as well. I think another thing to then bring in is, how are we not being disingenuous? Like, can we just be realistic? So we're talking about parity in leadership, right? In my organization, there's 7 people in senior leadership. 1 is a woman. The other 6 are men, right? The vision is that we need more women to be there. So we need the women, of course, also to opt in. Because leadership is not, you have to opt in, right? And you have to believe you have the support to opt in. So I think on both sides, there's also that mindset shift and that awareness that we need to have to make it happen. And links me back to what you said around VAP Act, and even some of the terminologies you mentioned, I haven't heard before, right? Abandonment of dependent is obviously something that is an issue. Many of us know that that's a thing and that you can actually file or make a complaint for things like that. So I think we're highlighting the importance of awareness. A big question though for me, or something that we need to conclude with, is what are the tools? All the people in this room are either existing within systems or leaders of systems in their workplaces, but are also doing work that benefits populations or systems. What would be the change, or what would be the thing that they should take away that helps us? What are the tools, essentially, or practical strategy, both from an advocate's lens or an implementer's lens or a strategy lens, Tola, in supporting leaders to make the change that is necessary from a decision-making, policy, and strategy perspective, but also from a grassroots, engaging with communities and implementing lens. Because the thing is about tools, right? And about how we can make impact and close gaps. So it's really what are the opportunities that we see on the horizon
Yeah.
that can help do that.
So maybe I'll answer it less from a grassroots lens and more from like a corporate, like if you're in a big company, SME, whatever. What we found is that there are 3 tools, and the 3 tools are not going to blow your mind when I tell you what they are, but the how they are implemented is actually what matters and what varies. So what we have found consistently is that there's the mentorship, the flexible work arrangements, and there's a third one that's escaping me, but it will come to me. And on mentorship, for instance, you might be thinking, okay, duh, this is obvious. But the truth is, what matters and how these things are done is, number one, there has to be real resourcing towards mentorship. So, just, okay, you and Jillian are now mentor buddies, good luck, doesn't really work, right? There has to be actual resourcing, whether it's, okay, here's some money that goes towards you guys actually being able to have lunch once a week, or whatever resources looks like in your construct. There has to be opportunity for flexibility. Like sometimes you assign me a mentor, I don't like the mentor. There has to be opportunity to be able to move, and there's a bit of, we can select ourselves. On flexibility, I already started to talk about that. Having flexible work arrangements is all fine and all, but you have to be able to change your systems and processes to actually adapt. Otherwise, once you introduce that, you are, whether consciously or subconsciously, you're actually putting people that take the flexible option at a disadvantage. If your company culture is still one that, you only get the good projects if you're in the office every day. If your company culture is such that, some elements of the promotion just cannot be reached unless you are working 7 days a week. Like if you don't change those things, then really it's just eye service. And the third one I remember now was the kind of like tools for women, whether it's creche and all of that. But as we've been talking, I actually, something that you said struck me a little bit where, if we're realistic, at the end of the day, at the early stages of a child's life, especially if a woman is breastfeeding, she does have a higher part of the load. And every time we talk about systems for women, we only talk about it really in the context of like very, very young kids, where like, the crèche and this and that. But ideally, you are mothering these children and fathering these children till that they're at least 18. And so something you said made me think, we say that, men should bring the kids for the crèche, but at the end of the day, like, they're not breastfeeding, so why does the child really need to be with them? Maybe we haven't actually taken our own medicine and thought, how do we design the systems a little bit for men that are active fathers? Because if you're an active, I don't think you need a crèche, but you might need like some kind of flexibility that allows you between the ages of, I don't know, your child is 4 to 8. Between those ages, you need a bit of flexibility because maybe that's when your kids are getting into XYZ thing that is important to you. So I think we also need to think a little bit about how do we design systems for parents, right? And not just early mothers, because I think that's where maybe we're missing a bit of a hat trick. Yeah.
Okay, I would say, because I work a lot with some parents who do not have partners, right? And in recognition of the fact that even our homes could be workplaces, the culture of safeguarding, the ideas around safeguarding need to be better appreciated by everyone. Whether it's a small business you're running, you're selling kunu from your house or whatever it is, everybody needs to know more about safeguarding. rsh.org, right? Or .com, RSH. There are a lot of resources there for people to be safeguarding savvy. Now, when you are better safeguarding savvy, you know what policies you need to put in place for your business so that if anybody needs anything, you can tailor your solution needs. And you'll be able to create spaces for people to request for what is needed without negative without fear of negative implications for what they request. Because truthfully, you don't know what everybody needs. If you're planning for parents, you're possibly planning for father and mother. But if you're planning for parents, and because there's some organizations that their policies are applicable, their maternity leaves are applicable only to married staff. So if somebody rapes me and I get pregnant, I'm likely to lose my job. Or if somehow, a consensual relationship in which I am, a pregnancy emerges, I'm likely going to lose my job because you need me to have some moral presentation to society. So we need to create systems that let human beings be human and guide us towards making our businesses or the workspace function effectively for them as human beings in the system. Whether the system is in your home or it's in a bigger institution or it's in your little business, we need to have that feedback system to know what different people need. So when I hear 2 weeks paternity leave, I think of the many women who die in the process of delivery and wonder how the men navigate getting extensions with the paternity leaves, that is given to them. Because so many times, men who ordinarily would not participate in the paternity process, once there's a death of a woman, you look very irresponsible if you're not caring for the child. Everybody is asking about what are you doing about the care of the child, So I think there's need for some flexibility, realizing that different things could come up, and irrespective of what comes up, we need to ensure we don't lose human face. That way, there are higher chances of accessing healthcare, higher chances of accessing justice, where justice is the situation, and the economy is better for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Dar. I think for me, I've taken away 3 things. One is norms show up. It shows up it's part of the human condition, right? We all want to be part of a collective, and we want to be seen to operate within the ambits of that. And for us to make change, there are a lot of system issues, but also like community or grassroots or individual personal type of issues. Within the systems, we've been talking institutions, but I think the light bulb that you touched for me is the home is like that primary or first system, and also continues to be a place of employment for many people that also leads to those exposure. And how should we think about designing? I think there's participation and talking to the people that are involved, but then there's also being flexible, designing across different, will I say, spectrums of existence, and the core of it should be that we're human. And this is ultimately what the takeaway is for me. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope that this conversation...
Please put your hands together, please. Thank you. Okay, so we'll do a group photo before we wrap up. And then just after the group photo, please, if you look to my left, your right, there's a commitment wall over there. So please, on your way out, I want you to pen down what norm are you committing to. So just write it out. But before then, please, can we have the cameraman, please, so we can take a group photo real quick. So what norm are you committing to ending? Please write it on your way out. Thank you. All right, thank you, everyone, and that's a wrap. Please make sure you write your commitment on the way out. Thank you. You can use your pen. Pens are fine. Please keep your bags with you everywhere you go, right? I've been asked to announce this. Thank you.
Two, check, two.